Good morning, everyone. So, in the previous class, we started with chapter 6, that is the landforms of the earth. Today, we shall continue with the same. Now, if you remember, I'll quickly review of what we've covered in the previous class. We started with this chapter, landforms of the earth, where we tried to understand what are landforms. We learned about the significance of landforms, and then we learned about one landform, that is the mountains. We learned about the mountains, the various types of mountains. Today, we shall continue with the same chapter, but we are going to learn about the second landform, that is the plateaus. So let us begin. Now, what are plateaus? Plateaus are basically a highland, all right, which is comparatively flat terrain, which has a flat terrain, which is the top portion is flat and is raised significantly above the surrounding area. Now, if you have a look at the picture here, this is the surrounding area, how it rises abruptly, significantly from the surrounding area and forms a flat portion at the top. This is known as a plateau. Because the upper part is generally flat, we even call plateau as a tableland. Alright? So this is what a plateau is. It's a highland consisting of a flat surface. Okay, this is a flat surface, and which is rises significantly from the surrounding area. Upper portion is flat, that is why we call it as tableland. Okay. Now moving to the next, why are plateaus important? We learned about the significance of mountains in the previous video, where we learned mountains are important because it helps us to prevent the cold winds from entering our country. It even gives us maximum rainfall by allowing the southwest monsoon to drop the moisture. Now today we will learn about the importance of plateaus. How are plateaus important to us? So let's have a look at the importance. The first importance of plateaus is that plateaus are storehouses of minerals. Because we see most of the plateaus are rich in minerals. Like I've taken an example of Chotanagpur Plateau in Jharkhand, which is rich in minerals like bauxite, iron, copper, manganese, which are found in this plateau. That is why plateaus are known as storehouses of minerals. Some plateaus are rich in gold, all right? So that is the reason why plateaus are known as storehouses of minerals. Second significance or importance of plateaus climatically, they remain cool because of the high elevation. Because plateaus are not very high like the mountains, which is very cold, nor it is too low like the plains, which is very very warm. So it has a moderate climate because of its approximate height, that is the distance from the sea. So that is why plateaus are not as hot as the plains nor as cold as the mountains. Third significance, some of the plateaus have fertile soil. Example, I've taken example of our own plateau, Deccan Plateau. All right, covers the western and the southern part of India, which is a volcanic soil, which is made of volcanic in origin, and black soil is really favorable. That is why cotton cultivation is done in the Deccan Plateau. So these are the three importance of plateaus. One is a storehouse of minerals, really rich in minerals. That is why we call plateaus as the storehouse. Second, they are not very hot nor very cold. They're moderate. They're cool enough. And the third is plateaus are even have fertile soil, which can really facilitate agriculture. For example, the Deccan Plateau, which is a volcanic in nature, black soil is favorable for the growth of cotton. So these are the importance of plateaus. Now let us begin with the types of plateaus. Now, types of plateau. Now, before we understand the type, let us try to understand on what basis are plateaus classified. Now, plateaus are classified according to the mode of formation. Mode of formation meaning the way they are formed, all right, and their physical appearance, meaning how they look like. So, on the basis of the way of formation and how they look like, plateaus are classified into various types. Let's start with the first plateau, that is the volcanic plateau. From the word itself, volcanic meaning these are plateaus which are formed due to the deposition and solidification of lava during volcanic activities. So when volcano erupts, the magma comes on the surface as lava cools down, becomes solid, and they keep piling up in layers, okay, in fine layers, leading to the formation of volcanic plateaus. There's a picture of here. They've given you a picture of how lava and ash they keep piling up in alternate layers, forming a volcanic plateau. And one very good example of volcanic plateau is the Deccan Plateau of India. So please try to remember an example as well. So that is what is volcanic plateau. Moving to the second plateau, that is a tectonic plateau. Now tectonic here meaning you must always connect to the term tectonic, meaning plate tectonic. So please try to connect to the movement of plates. Okay, so these types of plateaus are formed why? due to the upliftment of large areas due to endogenic forces. Now, this is very important for you to endogenic, meaning your external forces, that's the movement of plates inside the surface of the earth. So tectonic plateaux are formed due to the upliftment of large area. When a larger area gets just uplifted because of the movements of plates inside or the endogenic forces, that is known as your tectonic plateau. And one important example, Chota Nagpur Plateau, is an example of tectonic in the state of Jharkhand. Even the Harz of Germany is a very famous tectonic plateau. All right. So tectonic plateaus are basically formed because of the movement of endogenic forces. Those are your plate movements leading to the upliftment of larger areas. Now here they've given you a picture of tectonic, how uplifted the endogenic forces leads to the upliftment, creating the larger area to uplift, forming a tectonic plateau. So that's the second type of plateau, tectonic plateau. Please try to connect to the word tectonic here means movement of plates. Now the third and the most important type of plateau is intermontane. Please try to intermontane meaning mountains. So the plateau which is surrounded by mountains on all sides is known as intermontane plateau. Example, very good, Tibetan plateau is a good example of intermontane, which is also known as roof of the world. Even Bolivian plateau is an example, okay, which is known because it is the highest plateau in the world. That is why Tibetan plateau is known as the roof of the world. So intermontane plateau surrounded by mountains on all sides. Okay, so this is the intermontane plateau. Tibet Plateau, which is surrounded by mountains on all sides, are known as intermountain, meaning in between the mountains. The fourth type of the plateau is Piedmont. Pied meaning foothill. Okay, mont meaning mountain. So foothill of the mountain. So the plateau which is formed at the foothill of the mountain is known as Piedmont Plateau. So these plateaus are found near the mountains and there is plains or sea on the other side. Okay, so if this is a mountain, because the mountain has been eroded, that is how foothill of the mountain is a Piedmont Plateau surrounded by plains or seas on the other side. So the plateau which is near the mountain or the foothill of the mountain surrounded by plains or sea on the other side is known as your Piedmont Plateau. Example is a Colorado Plateau. Please learn one example each for each type of plateau. And the last type of plateau is a dissected, meaning a plateau which has an eroded, okay, which looks reduced in size because of the dissection done because the action of wind, water, and glacier. Okay, so when the plateau gets eroded because of the action of wind, water, glacier, that is known as a dissected plateau. And here they've given an example of how dissection leads to different landforms. One is mesas, which is your hilltop with steep slope, but it is smaller than plateau. So from the actual original size of the plateau, breakdown leads to a smaller version of plateau known as mesas, which again breaks down into forming a smaller version known as buttes. Okay, so that is your formation of a dissected plateau. So these are your various types of plateau on the basis of the way of formation and how they look like. There are five types of plateaus. All right. Now let us review what we've covered so far. Now we learned that we started this class by defining what are plateaus. We learned about the importance of plateaus and the types. I have few pictures here to just to review. So we learned that plateaus are, on the basis of mode of formation and the appearance, they are different. One is a volcanic because of the deposition and solidification of lava. So here I've given an example of a Deccan Plateau. Second was a tectonic because of the movement of plates, that is the endogenic or external forces, how the upliftment takes place at a larger area. Chota Nagpur Plateau, this is a picture of a Chota Nagpur Plateau. Moving to the next, Intermountain Plateau, surrounded by mountains on all sides. This is a picture of a Tibetan plateau. And the fourth was a Piedmont, that is your foothill of the mountain and seas on other side. Now, Piedmont Plateau is also known as Plateau of Denudation. Denudation means erosion, breakdown. Why? Because they are denuded, broken down by different agents such as wind and water. Now, this is a picture of a Piedmont Plateau. I could not show you the entire landscape of how it looks like, but please remember that it is the foothill of the mountain with sea or oceans on the other side. And the last type of plateau that we learned was your dissected plateau. So dissected plateau, which means reduced in size because of the action. So this is how dissection looks like. All right. So dissected plateau is because of the erosion work of running water and wind, how the plateau gets dissected. So this is how dissected plateau looks like. Now moving to the next, here are a few questions for you to solve. I think in the previous video it was not much clear, so they have done a video again. I hope this is helpful. Please try to do the rewatch the video if any questions or concerns. Thank you for watching.